Good morning, guys. Goose here. Welcome to STN Stock Talk with Ricky and myself. Ready for a great Friday to finish up the week. Good to be here. And hopefully you guys have checked us out over at stocktraders.net and logged in and played around with all the widgets and stuff like that. We still have a free premium trial if you want to go check out the other side and see what we're doing on screen share every morning. Got a lot in the hopper, kind of excited about it. Also excited about the day. There's a lot I see out there. So I'm going to be very, I'm not gonna marry anything today. I think there's a lot of opportunities out there of some things with the market getting really extended and some of these names that have been real active. So just make sure that you guys are staying smart and not just riding losers or staring at one stock all day. There's a lot of opportunities out there, and you got to trade it that way. So let's be smart today. With that being said, nothing that we're talking about this morning is any type of solicitation. Make sure you read the description and know that we're just trying to provide you guys information and look through a couple names every day on what's moving, what's gapping, what looks good on the daily, and of course, what Ricky does best. And that's an amazing homework that he does on these names to give you that ridiculous conviction to knock the you-know-what out of these things. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over to Ricky. Looking for a great day. I'll be back in a few with a couple names that I'm looking at today too. So Ricky.
Thanks a lot, Goose. And I'll be the first one to say days like today is great to have a partner because obviously not every single day is going to have a pre-market that is situated towards what I consider my wheelhouse. And that's where Goose comes in oftentimes. Like right now, there wasn't a lot on my radar. And Goose is saying, I got a lot on watch. And it's like, that's great because, we both complement each other really well, I think. And I don't have a lot on watch, guys. I do want to start off with CLPS. And let me get my charts up. Don't want to have it like yesterday. All right. So it's gapping up. And the reason it's on my watch is only for one reason, and that is that the gap is large. Other than that, I mean, there's no levels to the left, so we don't have anything to put risk against yet. We do have our first lower high and lower low in the pre-market, but, it already got that retrace where it came down. It held these 880s or so pretty well. The 5-minute 20 was almost there. So if it wants to continue higher from here, it very well can. I honestly think it is a 10 magnet. It almost hit it earlier, and I was saying it in the 8s, but whatever. I'm not here to make predictions. I'm just here to read the price action and make some plays, guys. So if this gets extended, I will possibly short it, but it just has to set up properly for me. And people are kind of wondering, why is it up? They don't see any news on it. Well, this might have something to do with it. Basically, guys, all the IPOs have been just on fire recently. So shorting things, because you don't see news on them and they're up a lot, it's just not going to work in this market. You need to stay smart. Make sure you guys have good risk management if you go in short on these things, and set your risk, set your size accordingly. Do not take a big hit to your account that's not manageable for your account size. All right, guys. So that's CLPS for me. It is a possible short, but it has to set up. The other thing I've got on watch is, of course, Goose. The Goose is loose, guys. Look, earnings play, they crushed earnings. Now, I am much more long bias on this than I am short, but I can't long it when it's this extended. I'm currently actually looking at either an extension at the open to short it back to the 5-minute 20, or I'm going to need some sort of wash first. So 55 is probably looking like the area I'd be looking at. We had some consolidation just under it at, what was this, 54.50-ish. But we do have the 5-minute 20 right there, 55.50. And that will keep creeping up, until the bell opens and until the price actually retraces and hits it. But this has been strong all pre-market, and I think we may see some profit taking early on. It's been running up into earnings. It's not been straight up or anything, but it's just been a healthy uptrend. It's not something you want to be shorting for anything more than a scalp, guys. So if it gives us that retrace, definitely looking for a long on Goose, especially with the earnings and the numbers as good as they were. And on top of that, he's my partner in StockTalk, so not trying to be short bias on him. That's everything for me today, guys. Look, gonna pass it back over to Goose and let him go over his names, and then we'll get this day cracking.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it very much. And like you said, I love having a partner as well. This has been great and complement each other perfectly. And I appreciate you also picking up for me over the last week while I'm dealing with everything. I have a couple freebies, guys, on some lower price names right at the end of this. So I'm going to go through these three real fast and try to give you these couple freebies that are on my list that I really like. Not that everything's free here anyway, but I just wanted to touch on a couple other names. I'm going to start off with Overstock. Now, guys, I have three. These are all three long things I posted. And I want to make a quick comment on this. The market's opening up down. I think the Dow's futures down 150 or whatever they are. I don't have the exact number in front of me. But just know that we're opening up down. So things got to happen the right way when I'm talking about these longs. So I'm not going to be naive that if, I'm going to buy Overstock right at the open, let the market fade at another dollar on me. That's not what the idea is. But I do want to show you the setups that I'm looking at on these things. Overstock, I really like. As you can see, it's kind of pushing up on this 40-40 area. I'm looking for a push on the 200-day. I love it coming off of the 20 and the 50-day right here on the daily we're talking about. Let me blow this up a little bit more. And I really like how I had a nice push into yesterday before the market came back a little bit. So I really think that this could reclaim that 40 and make a nice push up to that 42 to 44 area. If the market wants to behave a little bit, I'll let it set up. I might even look for, if it wants to wash down into this, 38 or something like that, or, which was a level yesterday, was kind of playing around in. I might even look at a little starter long, depending if the market wants to bring it in a little bit for me. But I do like the long on this and the setup on the daily, and I think it should definitely be on radars. I know Titus was talking about it the other day, Overstock, and likes it as well. I'm going to touch on EOLS, and this really came to my attention. I've been following the stock for a long time, all the way down here at 10 bucks. And it's done a nice, I drew a little retrace thing on this, and I want to show you guys. So it's pulled back, and it's already actually a little bit below. But you see this action is something I'm looking at. Higher low, higher low, higher low. And it's kind of setting up, and you got two highs right back to back here, right at this 29.40 area. I really think if it pushes through there, we're heading up towards that 31.32. This name has great range. Wait for the setup, guys, with the market again. I feel like I'm going to say that every time over all these three longs, because I think they really do have to. It makes a big difference, obviously. But I really like the daily setup on this for possible long on the EOLS. I think it's ready to pop again. So we'll see what happens there. But I really love this one. It looks pretty good. Now, it could get destroyed today with the market. If that happens, we'll have to revisit it. But right now, the daily is telling me it wants to go higher. Another one I want to touch on is Adobe. And I want to talk to you about Adobe. Actually, everything looked pretty decent with Adobe. And we're washing down right towards this 20-day area. So there's three different levels I want to show you guys that I wrote. First level is going to be right at this 20-day, which is the 247.50 area. You could see it really wasn't up, didn't hang out in this area too much. It was a little bit higher than that early on. So that's what I'm going to look for. If it wants to wash down, that'll be the first level of interest. Next level of interest is going to be right in this 244 area, which is a prior resistance, right? Recent support, and I'm going to see what it does up in this 244 area. Now, those are the two wash areas right at the open with a heavy market. The other side of it is, guys, is take a look at this clear right here, 252. So I know it's a ways away, and a lot would have to happen. And you can say, well, that's $3 away. Well, listen, it happens fast, and it's a name with big range, a $250 stock. Make sure you leave yourself room for volatility and stuff like that. But if it wants to clear that level, I would almost bet that this thing's going to touch up towards that prior close. I'd be very, very shocked if it doesn't go do a little G2C move or something like that, which would be going up towards that prior close area. So Adobe is definitely on my watch today. I actually like it, but I'm going to be patient with it. The couple other things I want to touch on real quick was this DEST. I want to touch on DEST for a second because it's kind of falling back, but I want to show you what happened at the close yesterday. It had a nice ramp yesterday. Let me take this. This is just from something else I had drawn trend line earlier. But you can see nice close on this thing, and I see it coming in a little bit. There's going to be a couple levels that I'm looking for on this. Right in this area, this 420 area, if it wants to wash at the open and come down, that's one area. DST for a long play. Also kind of right in where it is right now, right in this 270 area, or 470, excuse me. I want to see if it holds and soaks at this area. This is kind of where it was holding at around 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock yesterday before it made that end of day ramp, DST. So, and then obviously a red to green move or reclaim a 5. I think you're going to get people a little skittish. And the cool thing about these DSTs, and the reason I'm going to throw another one at you too, is while the market's like this and so volatile, I think it gives us a lot of opportunities on some of these small caps, as you can see with CLPS, which Ricky talked about, and they have a sympathy play going with it as well this morning, HJLI, whatever it is. So it brings those into play a little bit more maybe. Lastly, just want to talk about I was looking at this this VSTM also, and it was moving up. So VSTM is another thing that I'm going to have on my watch here. The comment that I want to make on it, what a pricing on this thing. So I think this should really be on our radars. If it wants to soak, I saw a big seller at like 610 for 100,000 shares or whatever it was. Or I thought it was. But anyway, I really think this thing's going to make a push up on 7. If the market wants to hold it and this wants to soak up at the $6, what a pricing on this thing. There was a positive note out from Cantor, I think, earlier. Don't be shocked to see a push on this thing. If it does wash back into this 580 area, which you could see, I probably will scoop a little bit for a long on this and play a long for a push on 650 to 7. I think this is going to make a nice shove today. So things have to line up, but I just want to throw a couple freebies at you and my thoughts and what I'm looking at. With that all being said, I know it was a lot. Sorry to give you a few different ones, but that's what we do. So back to you, Ricky. You guys have a safe, great weekend, and thanks for all being here, guys.
Great ideas as always, Goose. Guys, if you don't have a plan, you don't have a trade. Make sure if you're watching this on YouTube and it's not live, get over to stocktraders.net, sign up, get yourself a plan, get yourself trading with an edge. All the moderators over there, more than happy to answer questions. So DM any of us. Guys, the room is free. The value is there. The community is growing. Let's go out there and crush it. Peace.